Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Cleaning Out My Closet podcast. I'm Sean.
And I am Senor Pedro Gonzalez Enrique the Third.
Oh my God. You know what, actually? I said when you asked me, you were like, do you have anything to start the episode off with? And I was just like, no, I was just going to go into what we said we were going to talk about.
Right.
I do actually have something to talk about, to start the episode with.
What you got?
So...
Show me what
Sorry,
you got.
I'm opening up my notes just so I have them ready for when we actually do get into everything.
Makes sense.
What I want to address is that my fiance had actually given me shit for some comments I made
on our last episode. Yeah.
So I want
to say before you even say that, I told you it was going to happen though. I said
in the episode, I go, these spics, they're going to come for me.
And they did.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, me and Julian are both Latino.
He's completely white, actually. He's
yeah. We're posing. We're pretending here.
Don't let me.
Julian's Japanese. He just tapes his eyes open.
I look like Joji. See,
dude, you look just like Joji.
Well, there you go.
There's absolutely no difference between you guys.
I mean, yeah.
You look like Joji after a deep depression. You look like
and a lot of fucking fast food.
You look like Joji.
Go continue. Let's hear it.
If he was basically like, if he decided to go into hibernation for the winter, and he was like, I've got to like build up as much calories as I can to get me through the.
I was okay. That's not terrible. I was thinking you're going to go more the route like if Joji had been involved in some type of terrible ski jet accident and he was, he drowned in sea and was bloated a little bit. Because, I mean,
yeah, you look like him if he got kicked in the head by a horse.
What if that made him more beautiful? Like from that SpongeBob episode? Didn't he get kicked in the face by something? And
Squidward?
He got all beautiful.
Such a weird fucking reference to make. Anyways,
it is.
So being what I thought was really hilarious about the statement was that I basically addressed the fact that I don't care for Selena's music, and I'm going to say Selena. I refuse to pronounce it how you guys Selena, whatever you guys want me to fucking say. Fuck you. Her name is Selena. Anyways, I don't think her music's good. I don't think she's a fucking icon.
And just so you know, the proper pronunciation is Selena.
I personally, I really don't like her music. I think it's fine. It's like fucking old and kind of like lame.
I mean, it is old.
Yeah, but it's like, I no, but I mean, I can listen, and I can even listen to like Spanish music and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, this shit fucking slaps.
What Spanish music are you listening to?
I think her fucking music sucks ass.
Well, I wouldn't put it under the category of this slaps, but there's what's that fucking the one song she's known for, the one that they sing at the end of the movie after she dies.
Yeah. I don't like her music, so it's not like I could tell you like
I think you secretly just love it and you don't want to admit it because there'll be something you and Benexy can bond over.
Like I murder to it, if anything.
You just straight up kill people.
I'm like Dexter, and I'm just like fucking killing people to it. Yeah, that's
a killer soundtrack right there.
That's amazing. Yeah, if I ever make a movie where a serial killer is killing people, he's definitely
Selena in the background.
He's gonna have Selena like playing,
and then
in his ear.
Mariah Carey, but the Christmas song. That's those two on.
But it's just her high note from it on a loop for like 8 hours straight.
I would kill myself, dude. You wouldn't even have to I'm just like, fucking give whatever you got. I'm just stabbing it in my ears.
So no, I made the comment where I was just like, fucking, I was just like, the spics are gonna come for me. And she was like, you can't say that. And I go, say what? And she's like, you can't say spics. And I was just like, I am a spic. What are you fucking talking about, dude? And like, so she's fucking Dominican. And here's the thing about
that. Is she good at baseball?
I fucking bet she is. Like, imagine.
I mean.
Come on. Like, there's no fucking way, dude. So it started like this whole conversation between the two of us where she was like, I'm kind of offended by this. And I was just like, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, bro. Like,
Right?
what do you, I don't know. Like,
It's been decided.
I don't know when the last time was that you called up Drake and you were just like, I can't believe you said what you said. And you're like, where do you get off using that word? Did you know that word was used to keep them down from? And he's just like, I'm half black. What are you talking?
What the
Like,
fuck are you talking about?
no, but my whole point wasn't
She
even,
logicked you.
but my yeah, right. Yeah, people say Logic can't fucking say the N-word, and it's just like
Right.
he's got as much right as Drake fucking does.
I mean, it does look like Spanky from Sandlot,
yes.
but he is half black.
yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm surprised someone hasn't started like what they did with Obama. Like, let me see the birth certificate kind of a thing with Logic. That's really why he retired.
Yeah, they really want. Like,
Someone
they
fucking
tell him
brought
to
it
pull
up.
out his father. That's what they. And that's a
Yeah.
chore in and of itself.
Yeah, he may be black then.
So basically, yeah, right. I can't find him. I don't know.
Yeah, let him pass.
So basically, but my point wasn't necessarily I'm Hispanic, so I can say it.
Mm.
It's it's in reference to like the way I'm using it is like I can fucking say it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not justifying it because I'm a spick. Like I can say it, but I am saying it's weird for you to draw that line in the sand that I can't. Like
That
that's
is
a
weird.
That's a weird like barrier that you're like you can't cross that line. Like that's
Not
very
this one, sir.
strange to do that because for one thing, we say spick on the podcast all the time. We talk
Yeah,
about
I mean,
each
pretty
other,
relatively,
and we're just
or-
like, oh, that's fucking like we'll just be like, oh, you know, when your family does this thing, that's spick shit.
yeah,
Bro.
dude, we do say,
We
especially
say
on the
it
phone a
all
lot.
the time.
Spick shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's
Because
definitely
we're
some
just
spick
like,
shit.
yeah, literally when you're talking to someone from the same culture, like black people do the same thing with other black people. I'm
Yeah.
sure Asian people do the same thing with other Asian
I
people.
don't really see Asians calling you like, oh, dude, that was such a gooky thing we used to do. You know what I mean? That one I don't see. I just don't see that one. You know, kind of like there's certain ones like I mean they probably use a different word, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have something, but
the kooky gooky.
the Gookie monster. so I just thought it was such a weird thing to say. Like, you can't say that, or the big point that she made was like, yeah, but you can't call like specific people that. And I was just like, well, how else would you use it? Like it's a word about specific people. Like,
I was like, isn't that
it'd be
exactly
weird
what that word is?
if I was talking about a lamp and I was like, this fucking lamp is such a spick. Like that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, yeah, when I talk about myself, I'll refer to myself. I'm like, oh, that's such spick bullshit. Like in myself, you know what I mean? If I do something, or if I'm like, this fucking rice and beans again for dinner. Look at this spick ass
Spick
plate,
shit,
bro.
yep.
Yeah, this spick shit. This is gonna get flagged so
Oh,
hard.
easily.
Like we're gonna have to bleep everything out.
It's just
Taylor's
gonna
gonna be pissed.
He's like, yeah, we're just not gonna be able to salvage this
no, we're
episode,
fucking
guys.
with you. And, but
no, I thought it was funny because you did call me up like after
was
it happened,
cracking
and I was
up
laughing my
so
ass
hard.
off too. I was like,
I
the
thought it was so
hypocrisy,
funny.
like it was just so hypocritical. Like, and it just like
Well,
you're saying, how do you, why you like the line?
It's a
how you
weird
determine
line
that
to draw.
line? Yeah.
And I made the point by saying like, well, you say nigga.
Hmm.
I was like, you say the N-word. And she's like, no. But that's not racist. She's like, ER is racist. So I just thought that was even funnier. It put it
Kinda
even
proves
more
it.
over the top.
Yeah.
That she was just like, no, these are like two different words. And I'm like, yeah, you say that because you've never had a black person come up to you and tell you they're offended by your use of it.
Right.
You know, but I guarantee you the moment that happens, you'd be thinking twice about that.
Yeah, second
My
guessing
whole
any
thing
time
is,
ever
like,
you would use that.
People can say whatever they want, but I think it's weird the justification we use as to why we can't use some words and why others can, or why this and that. It's just like, let people say what they're going to say. If you're going to be offended, you're going to be offended. But don't give like ridiculous reasons as to why something is or
Right.
isn't okay. It's either all okay or none of it's okay.
Well, and the thing is with that, I mean,
Sponsored.
sponsor. Oh yeah, dude, we haven't had Canada Dry on here in a minute. It's our secret
They're
sponsor.
back.
No, the thing with like with using words and stuff that people do find offensive. It like
Sexy.
you were saying, yeah, no, like you were saying earlier, you're not going to stop doing it, right, until
Yeah.
someone checks you on it.
And
And
even then, you'll be like, okay, out of respect for you,
Right.
obviously, I won't use that. But like, you're not going to affect my vocabulary. At least that's how I personally would look at it. But like, I'm
Well,
just saying,
the way I
you're not gonna
look
stop
at
me
it
from using a word. Like, you have no
Right.
dominion over me
No,
using it.
well,
But out of
I agree
respect for
on
you,
that.
I'll stop using
the
it.
way
in front
I
of you.
look at it is more like the fact that if I'm not going to be comfortable saying that word in front of whoever it might
Right,
offend, I'm not going
exactly.
to say it.
Exactly.
And the case is, I really don't give. I'll say just about anything to anyone.
Yes.
And I do have my line, obviously, but that's
Mhm.
determined by me.
Yeah.
And I know what the line is. If something's offensive to other people, doesn't mean it's offensive to me. I'm going to say it until I don't.
Yeah.
Until I don't. It's as simple
I
as
think
that.
of it this way: like, if you're surrounded by that demographic,
Mhm.
or like this, let's say you go to let's say you're at like a kickboxing gym in an inner city,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
for whatever reason,
Bruce Lee.
like you go to for whatever reason, the demographic of the slur that you're talking about is all filled in there. So for one thing, all these people are in really good shape and they know how to kick people's asses. And a situation goes down and you're there and you're more than willing to say the fucking word otherwise if it wasn't those people. Would you say it in that situation? I think this is a real test of character, essentially.
Yeah.
This is what separates the boys from the men, really.
Yep.
Essentially.
This is what makes you a boys band, boys to men.
Yeah. So
Saying spick in front
I
of a
think
bunch of spicks.
if you're not willing to do that, then you probably acknowledge that yourself, that you're not actually okay with these words.
Right.
And you find them problematic yourself. And so maybe you shouldn't be using them. You know what I mean? But I just don't think you need some type of justification to like, well, this is why this people and that's why this people and this is why. We're like, once you get into like semantics like that, where it's just like,
It's a little ridiculous at that point.
I also had this conversation with her about like, you know, people. This is completely separate conversation that I had with her, but essentially I was saying like, people look at me and they'll love to invalidate me and the culture I'm a part of, my own culture. They'll invalidate me as like a Latino person because they'll look at my skin and they'll just be like, you don't count. Or like you don't speak Spanish.
I'm the white dude. Yeah, that's the one. I mean, but see, okay, so that one is kind of a toss up for me. Like, I understand, like, you should be kind of proud of your heritage, right, and stuff like that. But that's on you, kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Well,
don't make me feel bad,
right?
Or don't make me feel like I'm not part of this.
You.
Because I don't know Spanish or this and that.
Well, like the thing that I say to her is, most people who are Hispanic didn't choose to not speak Spanish. They weren't taught Spanish.
That's their first language.
I wasn't taught it. My sister wasn't. I have siblings that were, but for me and the sister that's closest in age to us, we weren't taught it. You know what I mean? So we didn't get to make that decision. It doesn't make us any less like a part of the culture.
You're still a spick, basically, is what you're saying.
We enjoy the same music, the same food. We have the same
obviously
life experiences.
not. You don't like Selena. That's... You know what? I'm starting to second.
Gun to my head.
I might pull your spit card, bro.
Yeah, you're
I'm
gonna
thinking
revoke
now.
me?
You got light skin. You're pretty white, you got the Jew curls. Don't like Selena.
I've been arrested.
Well, white people get arrested. Where's the
I got
face
arrested
tattoos?
on a bicycle.
Did you steal the bicycle?
No.
You're white.
But I was stealing while I was on the bicycle.
I'm gonna have to take this up. We're gonna have to take a recess on this one.
And it was other spics that caught me.
Well, those aren't good spics for them. You don't want to hang around those.
They could have let me go. But they saw the skin and they were like, no, this guy definitely doesn't speak Spanish.
Blame it on him.
No, so I basically had the conversation with her of like, it's conflicting for a lot of racially ambiguous people because they already feel within themselves that they're not necessarily like, they feel like outsiders to their own culture. Right. Something that is like inherently like theirs. It's theirs. You can't tell somebody we'll just take this from you. It's not yours. Like, genetically speaking, it does belong to you in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And you see this so much in the Hispanic and Latino community, but
Latinx, please.
Yeah, but not nearly like you think of something like you never go to like a fucking black person and you're just like, oh, you're not Jamaican. You know, do you speak patois? Well, then you're not Jamaican.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, we probably wouldn't do that, but I feel like that is like a cultural thing.
I don't think it's not nearly the same way because there's no expectation that they should if they're here in America. No,
I know there is beef between like light skins and dark skins.
Yes, there's definitely that, but that's also in the fucking Latino community too.
That is definitely true, 100%.
I feel like we're way harder on each other than any of the other groups are to like the Asian community. Like, sure, your grandparents might give you shit about not fucking speaking Mandarin or Cantonese, but your parents don't fucking give a shit. None of your cousins speak it either. It's like the only people who do are like fucking like 90 years old and they're about to die and they barely speak it to you. So it's like not even a big deal. No one makes a big deal about it. You know what I mean? You might feel some type of disconnection from your heritage and stuff, but it's not the way it is.
Let's watch a Jackie Chan movie.
When you go to a fucking restaurant or someone's walking down the street or something, people constantly speak Spanish to me first.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like the very first. And then when I tell them I don't, they'll speak perfect English to me. But it's because they can inherently see that I'm fucking Puerto Rican and they'll immediately go to, okay, like this is the guy, right? And then I'm like, no, sorry about that. I don't and I can either go into the explanation of going, I'm Puerto Rican, but I don't speak Spanish, or I can just be like, or just put on my white voice and just go, no, absolutely not. Why would I speak that Ooga Booga language?
I just tan really well, sir.
Yeah.
How dare you mistake me as a fucking
and I'm
minority?
super light right now too. Like I haven't gotten a tan in forever, so I look really white.
I'm telling you, dude, you are white. You're not. I'm pulling the card. It's been revoked. Sorry.
But I was basically saying, you know, a lot of like mixed race people and just racially ambiguous people, they have that identity crisis of like not feeling like they belong. To the culture they were born into, you know what I mean? Like, and it's so fucked up because I had like a similar experience with that because I grew up in a neighborhood that was like mostly black people. So like culturally speaking, the culture I was around the most was like hip hop culture.
Right.
And so all the music I listened to was fucking rap and hip hop and R&B. And then
so Reba McEntire.
all of the exactly right,
definitely up there,
dude. It was
some
Def Leppard,
Angel Wings in the front row,
just hammered drunk, listening to Leonard Skinner.
Woo!
And like the clothes I wore, like everything, the slang we fucking talked. Like
no, definitely. I understand that completely. So, I mean, it was very similar when I was like a kid too. It was like Spanish and black kids. I was like, I mean, there was white people in New Mexico, but it was mostly like Spanish and black.
Then you have your family members that give you shit about it. You know what I mean? Who are just like, you know, your siblings that do speak Spanish and stuff. You're never Latino enough to be really like considered one in the family. They're like, oh, you're like diet Latino. You're like shit like that. Like
you're the Shasta.
It's all the like slight regards. Like they keep nudging. It just keeps poking the bear, you know, where they're just like, it's so annoying to be constantly fucking bothered about this thing that you had no control over.
What you should have done is just fucking called ICE on your family and have them. They would have deported you. Be like, I told you,
back to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, wherever the fuck.
They'd come right back. They're like, oh, vacation.
Yeah, no, just to prove to them, like they deported me too. I'm obviously right. enough for for them to verify it. So
I know it's all fun and games till you need somebody to fill out some fucking legal documents. Then who do they come to?
Right,
it's this guy right here speaks perfect English.
Yeah.
So
Chicken nuggets.
I was literally I talked about I was explaining to her like, you know, growing up in that environment, it's a weird situation because the culture you're just like you're born into that should be entirely accepting of you because you're legitimately a part of it is kind of like keeps you at arm's length. You're kind of already an outsider to it. You know what I mean? And then the culture that you yourself grow into, like your environment wise for me, which was like hip hop and mostly like Black American culture because I was born in Brooklyn, New York and grew up there. So everybody around there was just black people. And so all of my friends, the girls I would like fuck around with and stuff like that, black people, you know what I mean? So all of the music and everything. So like that's the culture that I become entrenched in. I don't really know any other culture. Yeah. And then you have people telling you that like, this isn't your culture. I'm like, dude, I grew up in this fucking culture. Like, I don't know any other music. Like someone would be like, that's our music. I'm like, me too. I've been listening to it since I was born.
No, that's the thing that irritates me about like when people, get pissed off about like you can't be into that because that's our thing. It's like, dude, do you understand? Since I can remember listening to music, I've been listening to rap music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like since like elementary school, like before, like that's all I remember is rap music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously we listened to other stuff in the house and stuff my parents did, but me as a kid, that's what I listened to. So of course, you know, you get, like you said, you get involved in the culture, the stuff, you know, that's around all that stuff. It's not necessarily you're posing or trying to be this thing. It's just, who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And it is fucking ridiculous when people do
honestly,
that.
Honestly, if you would have seen me as a kid, I dressed like I would wear baggy ass
Dude, I used to remember the tall tees.
Yeah, me too, boy.
Tall tees.
Rocking those shits.
I had the fucking
baggy ass pants that were like sagging to your knees.
The South Pole.
Oh, yeah.
What was the other brand? Was it Echo?
You'd have your fucking Jordans, your Tims, your fucking
I couldn't afford Jordans, but I did have like I would have a whole fucking outfit set out, and it was just oversized everything,
bro, everything, dude. I like honestly, and it wasn't like some type of weird thing where I was like some white suburban kid who like watched things in a music video.
Malibu's
this is how me
wanted.
and all of my friends were dressing. We all dressed the same, because that was how we all fucking dressed. Like I wasn't like the weird outsider. It was only once I grew like older and moved to a different state.
Yeah, let's say that's exactly what happened
to me. It's when I moved to a different state.
So imagine this, dude.
The taste of music, the slang I used, the way I talked, and the way I dressed was like a weird thing for everybody else.
Dude, no. So imagine this. I moved from New Mexico, right? Albuquerque, Rio Rancho area. Like I said, very, very similar. There's a lot of hip hop culture there. A lot of stuff. And that's what I grew up on. So the same style of clothing. And I moved to Kansas, right? So for one, I'm like one of three families in the whole town that's Spanish.
In the KKK?
No, that's Mexican.
Okay. Sorry.
And to top it off, I'm like really into everything that they're not into. They're like country music.
Black people.
yeah, basically. So no, dude, it was really weird
everything
transition.
They're not into.
I mean, that probably is on that list. There was an incident
like
where
black people seasoning your food.
And kiss your dad goodnight for us.
Oh man,
they're into that in the South, the deep South.
Yeah. For sure. No, but I just had the discussion with her, and I was basically explaining like,
how many times did you hit her before she realized she was wrong?
Before she got it?
Yeah,
a couple.
Yeah.
No, so I was just explaining, you know, who is anybody to sort of invalidate anyone's connection to any culture? You know what I mean? Like, you don't.
It's not like you Rachel Dolezal or whatever the fuck that bitch is.
Yeah, well, let's say, you know, I even explained it to her like this. Like, let's say I was adopted by a fucking like Chinese family, and I grew up in China. I knew nothing about like my own culture or anything like that. That would be my culture, but I still am entitled to the culture of my birth. My birthright culture, I still have a connection to that genetically. Like, that's mine too.
I wonder how they say spick in Mandarin.
Spickle. Well, like if I decided that I wanted to get to learn about like my birthplace and stuff like that, like, who are you to tell me that like, oh no, what do you mean? Like, you grew up in China. Like, you don't get to learn any of this shit. Like, what the fuck do you mean? You're just going to exclude me from learning about, like, that's the point I'm making is, like, there are these weird imaginary barriers that we're putting in front of each other to prevent each other from learning about each other, which creates even more barriers. There's a greater divide between ourselves, even within the same culture.
I would say the more I think about it, too, kind of going back to what you were saying earlier about, like, Latino people being the worst at that, as far as, like, just, you know, with amongst each other. It really is, because, you know, you think about it, like Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, they get along, but they don't.
Behind closed doors is a different story.
It really is. Like, I remember
everybody's against everybody behind closed doors.
I offended a Puerto Rican by calling a Mexican once.
We've all got each other's backs whenever someone's coming after one of us.
Right.
Like when the whole Trump thing was happening, all the fucking Latinos in America came together and we're like, we're going to support the Mexicans. But behind closed doors, everyone was talking shit about Mexicans.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. And the Mexicans were talking shit about the Puerto Ricans. Puerto Ricans were talking shit on the Dominicans. Dominicans.
And it was it
and
was
the white
just-
people were hating on every one of them.
yeah. So it honestly was there's a huge it's so much toxicity within the Latin community. And it's not just like Latin Americans, I shouldn't say that, like Latins in America, like here in the United States, America.
Right.
But like South American, I would
even
say
worse.
it's even worse.
I would say it's worse, honestly.
It's way worse.
Mhm. You know what? I honestly think it boils all down to when Selena died. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay, so let's get off this and move into the actual episode. So basically, all I said to her was just like, you know, nobody, not a single person has the right to devalue somebody's connection to any culture.
Right.
Because you don't know that person. You don't actually comprehend what their connection to that culture is. And what you deem as either offensive to that culture, even if you're a part of it yourself, or just underappreciative.
Do you remember
just-
before we get off on this that episode of The League with the white sushi guy?
Yes.
It's basically that scenario. You know what I
love
mean?
that, yeah.
And Ruxin didn't want to fucking
Yeah, you're
get served
basically
by
you're
him
like, I
because he's
want like an actual Japanese
Yeah.
guy to make my sushi, and he was like
he's like, where did
a
you
white
study?
dude, yeah.
He
he was like Okinawa.
no, yeah, Oklahoma. He's like, where? Oklahoma, home of the Huskers. Go Huskers.
Oh man.
But I mean, it's almost comical in a sense, you know, when you break it down to like, you know, that.
Especially
But
when you
it's
think
also a
about
little
the
bit
idea of like
ridiculous.
culture. What culture is like your traditions,
And
you know,
your
like like the traditions of the people and the places and all of these different things, the food, the music, the stories, the slang or the language you use, you know,
Just the clothing,
music,
the
the
music,
food, all of these
all that
things.
shit.
And the whole point of all of these things is to share them with other people who don't share that culture so that we can all understand and appreciate each other and get that. You know, like if we all just stuck to the same cultures that we were like only supposed to do, like
should be
that
so
we're
fucking weird
born
and
into.
boring.
Imagine the fucking shitty world we live in.
I feel like there'd be a lot more Nazis. Like if that was what.
Because if you just kept bringing it back and back and back and back and back, it eventually get to a point where like, all right, who discovered electricity? Okay, only that group of people can use electricity. So we're all like, everybody's power cuts out. All right, who discovered concrete? All right, get out of your house. All right, who discovered paper? Like
God.
we just keep going. We keep
And we just
rolling
nuke-
it back.
just nuke
and
each other
obviously,
at the end.
I'm being like ridiculous. I'm being hyperbolic, but that's the train of thought that's
Right.
being used. It's just like, well, let's exclude, like, oh, white people can't braid their fucking hair now. Like they can't put their hair in braid. And then somebody will be like, that's disrespectful.
Right,
And you're
it's-
just like, you don't know them.
The chick that's yelling at her be like, you can't do that. That's my culture is wearing a fucking blonde wig. You know, like, you know what I mean?
Even-
Like, come on.
I know.
Come on.
That shit is annoying to me too,
Yeah.
right? But like you
And it's from some Brazilian chick. You know what I mean?
but like no, you don't know that person. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like what makes you think you understand them? How do you know that guy doesn't like go to like a fucking soup kitchen and feed like homeless black people or something, or volunteer
Right.
his time like at a homeless shelter?
So do you
and
think
he's
that's
doing
what
more
happened
for
with
the
the
black
Catch Me
community than
Outside
you
girl?
are? Yeah.
She's at the soup kitchen.
I think she probably hit her head, and they had to like they did like a fucking emergency brain exchange, and they gave her like the brain of like a fucking 40-something-year-old black man. Like
just like crackhead. Have you seen the videos of that dude? It's this white dude. He's from Memphis, and
in the horse and
no, not that one, not that one. God, no, not that one. Not that one.
I gotta show you that video.
No, I don't never want to watch that video ever. You're just gonna sneak it in there one of these days. Send me like Christmas pictures.
I'm
or
gonna send you
something.
like I'm just gonna be like,
Should be
I made
snuck
you
in
this
there.
thing of your daughter, and
Like,
it's just
oh,
like
cool,
right at
cool.
the end, it's gonna be a quick like I'm gonna speed it up and like condense it into like 5 seconds, and you're just gonna see it
It's
real
like,
quick.
ah, no.
It's gonna
Or
haunt
it's
your
gonna be like
dream.
just subliminally, like randomly just pop up.
It's gonna
first
start
couple
happening
seconds.
in your
I was
dreams.
like, what? I never looked at the
Okay,
merry-go-round.
what video?
No, I don't even know what the fuck. It was just this white dude that sounds black. He's so fucking funny. He was on a couple.
Tom Hanks' son.
Yes, that's the one.
He's back,
Shit.
by the way.
Dude, that's how I know there isn't a god.
He did like a Twitter video where he goes, hey guys,
Boom the clock. What's up? It's Jet.
he was like, hey guys, Donald Trump is, Biden won, but I think it's important to remember that Trump is our president still, and we should, while he's still in office, at least try and respect. And he's just like, psych. He's like, you're a pussy boy, and he just starts going in with it, and back to his stupid shit, bro.
Dude, him and Drake need to do a song together. Have Drake do his little Jamaican accent.
Yes, dude, I love that. That Drake is on the same shit as him, bro.
He doesn't know what he is, dude. He's
on the same shit. Well, it goes back to that fucking like mixed, like racially ambiguous thing. Like he talked about how he had like a identity crisis too.
Right.
Like for his black friends, he never felt black enough. For his white friends, he never felt white enough.
And
it created a conflict within him. And me not being, I'm not fucking what's it called, biracial or anything like that. I'm just like stuck in this weird place of being 100% what I am, just not being 100% accepted by the fucking community I'm a part of.
I gotta tell you one more funny
which
thing.
Is a pain in the ass.
That kind of relates to this. So at work, two guys were talking about like
fucking each other?
No, biracial or mixed people,
and they're like,
and he couldn't think of the word. He's like, they're the hybrids, and I just start laughing so hard because
you're like, what, like Ligers and Griffins? And
I was thinking like, what a fucking like a Prius. And he's like, no, and so the guy he's talking to is Spanish as well, and it's a white guy saying this, and I just bust out laughing. Yeah. So from now on, that's what we call mixed people as hybrids.
Like if it's like a unicorn stitched to the back of an alligator.
Yeah, with the Apache helicopter for.
Yeah. Holy shit, that's fucking hilarious.
So from now on, that's what we're doing. 2021, it's a thing.
Dude, we got to come as hybrids for our next Halloween. That's what we got to do.
Yo. But I just thought it was a fucking funny moment.
I don't even know how long the episode's been going, but we have not talked about any of this.
Oh, shit. We've been going for
30
a minute.
Minutes. It's probably like half.
Yeah.
Probably around that point. Damn, man. Yeah, I wasn't planning on talking so much about that, but it just like it's this thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
What we do want to get into.
Do we want to get into that topic, or do we want to hold off on? Yeah, I mean, we'll just get into it. Fuck it, let's just do it.
Talk like quickly about it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
So last time we talked, last episode was pre election.
Yep. It was like literally, I think it was the day before, wasn't it? When we actually recorded.
Yeah. It was the day before.
Which I was so pissed. I was like, I wish we could have done it the day of, so we would have known the results.
Great. We would have been right on top of it, but there wouldn't have been as many stories.
This is also
the
true.
only thing that sucks is that it feels like the stories happened so long ago, so it feels like we're getting
really is
late
kind of
to the
weird.
party of talking about this.
Like you said, it's still very relevant because it's obviously still going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and there is a lot more that has kind of evolved since the initial situation, since the election.
Yeah. So Biden won.
What? I thought Kanye had it.
Yeah.
It was close, right?
I actually think he got like a decent amount of like surprising. You can look up like the polling numbers, and he didn't get like obviously like compared to the other two. He obviously got a very small fucking tiny amount. That's
actually why Nevada took so long to get their count in. He actually won. They just didn't want to tell anyone.
But in some states, I think they said that he was in a few states. I saw a thing. I think it was in a video I watched. Somebody said that
on TikTok?
No.
Okay, so it's not reliable.
It's not reliable then.
Yeah.
He got like around like 3,000 in some states.
Huh?
Which, I mean, come on, like to enter that late and have this much stuff going on with you, and this many controversies, to get that, it's admirable, to be honest with you.
I guess I'm sure a good chunk of those, I'd say probably more than a quarter of them were just like people like thinking it's funny, like
no, I would say even more than that. Thinking it's funny, I would say, because I remember the last election, people were writing in a bunch of wasn't it Harambe?
Yes,
people were writing in Harambe.
For Harambe, baby.
Yeah, they were writing in the fucking dead gorilla from the Cincinnati Zoo.
Would it be so terrible if Harambe got more votes
than Kanye.
Kanye.
Oh, I want to see those results. I'd like to see. Can somebody look up and put in the comments?
Look that up for us.
Somebody post in the comments how many votes did Harambe get in the last election,
And how many
votes
got
did
this
Kanye
one.
get, and we're gonna see who would have won in a presidential race between the two of them. Please, God, let it be Harambe. I don't even believe in you, you piece of shit.
But please let this be a thing. That
No,
would be
so-
amazing.
For one thing, Biden won, and
Yes.
the Trump campaign has been losing their shit.
Dude, they're like
Ever
throwing
since.
tantrums.
They are
like little fucking
throwing out these
babies.
crazy baseless claims, and it's fucking.
A lot of accusations
personally,
and shit.
Like I've said 1,000 times, I would never stop being friends with somebody or anything like that just because of who you voted for. You know, because there are many
I
faceted.
voted Kanye.
There are a lot of reasons why somebody would vote for someone, you know, and you can't just take it on face value that, oh, you voted for them, so you must agree with everything that they think and
Right,
say.
right.
And there aren't any more nuanced reasonings as to why you would do so. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I've said 1,000 times, one of my best friends in the world is a fucking Trump supporter. And although I give him endless shit for it, he's also one of the best guys I know,
Yeah.
you know? And like I could never say that this guy, if I didn't need him, he wouldn't be there for me, because there have been situations where like I was in like really fucked up places and like he came through for me when
Yeah, as long as there
No
wasn't
one
a
else.
Trump rally going on.
yeah, I told him I had lube and like he was there right away.
Boom. Like he was right in there.
Yeah, he was in
He
there.
was in there. You're asshole.
Imagine like let's say the CIA came to you and they were just like, you get to decide who the next president of the United States is,
Mm.
but the current president has to fuck you in the ass.
It's kind of sad. I opt out. Like,
They're like, yeah, you can totally opt out of this, but then your girlfriend has to bite the bullet for you.
ooh. Well, we're no longer dating now, so yeah, I'll be like, yeah, just go ahead.
You're like, I haven't even fucked her in the ass. You're like, Mr. President.
You dirty bird.
And like as you're just like sitting out there like fucking like you're like you have to sit in the living room with the CIA agents like they're sipping tea, so you get Sports Center on this thing, and you're like, yeah, I don't know, man. I guess like and like
he's
and they
gonna come to
over
my
with,
house
like,
and do it?
Yeah. They
They can't even take me to the Oval Office?
Fuck
What the
that.
fuck?
They're coming here, bro. He's gonna
I feel like this is not a good deal at all.
disrespect your surroundings. Disrespect your surroundings.
So it's gonna be like 5 years, no, 3 years later. After that, I'm gonna be on a tour at the White House, and he's gonna completely have forgotten
You've got a
about
baby
it.
that looks like a little old man.
Yeah.
It's just like a little confused
just
Biden
orange.
Jr.
It's half orange, half Biden. It's like, well, I don't know what the fuck happened, but someone's gonna fucking tell me.
I'm getting money from somebody.
This baby does not talk; it just sniffs everything.
I keep trying to fill out my fucking taxes and the papers keep disappearing. So basically, no, so he's gonna come here, do it in your fucking bed and everything, and you just gotta sit out there, and then
I think I'll
as
just get fucked in the ass at this point.
as he finishes, you hear him reciting the
Pledge of Allegiance.
the presidential speech from Independence Day right before they go to destroy the
We
mothership.
will not
We
go
will not go silently into the
night
dark.
or whatever. We will. Blah blah blah.
And then right when that guy like suicide bombs the fucking like
I'm
mothership.
back. You just fucking. Oh, oh. Yeah, no, I'll just.
Welcome to Earth, Will Smith, and he donkey punches her. Dude, you just keep hearing lines from Independence Day. You're like, God damn it, man! Now I can't. That was my favorite movie.
At that point, you're after it's done. Like, I'm kind of agreeing with Jada at this point now. Fuck Will Smith.
Fuck.
Yeah, no, I think at that point, after all that, I would just I'll just let him fuck me.
Getting back on topic. So they basically threw out a
wasn't
bunch
the
of
topic?
claims that of voter fraud. They filed a bunch of lawsuits.
Dude, it's so fucking that irritated me so much because
it was fucked up.
Okay, he specifically was like since the beginning, before like months before the election, he was the one that was very adamant about not doing the mail-in votes, right? So Biden, of course, was the polar opposite. He was saying, everyone, any way you can, if you want to go to the polls, obviously go to the polls, but mail in your votes, get your votes out there. So the way people were freaking out, like on election day, because Trump obviously got a really big head start because the way they do the counts of the ballots, the mail-in ballots are going to be counted last.
Yeah, a lot of states had to wait to start counting their fucking
and
things. So it made sense that there was going to be a huge bump when it came to fucking
it's not
Democratic
fucking
votes.
fraud. It's fucking common sense.
It's
you
common
fucking
sense.
idiots.
And they filed a bunch of lawsuits.
Yeah, I know.
Claiming that there was a bunch of different kinds of voter fraud going on.
Right.
They're all getting thrown out.
Oh, yeah.
One lawsuit actually came through that was filed by the Trump campaign. I can't remember which state. I have it written on my phone somewhere, but you can look it up.
One of the 50.
One lawsuit came through.
Just throw a name out there.
And
you
it
gotta
Denmark.
Wrong.
Yeah. And it was that they wanted, like, what's the word for it? People who were in charge of like the voting stations,
right,
to basically stand like closer to the people voting, to look over
their shoulder.
Yeah, to basically check and make sure there's no fraud going on. And guess what happened? Guess what happened in that state? They filed a lawsuit. The lawsuit went through. They approved it. So now they have people basically standing over them. No fraud was reported. And the state turned, I think it was Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And the state turned fucking blue with no fucking fraud, which is what's going on in all the other states. They're turning blue and there's no fraud going on.
Right.
Every lawsuit they filed, they had absolutely no evidence to any of their claims.
And that's the thing. They're throwing shit and hoping it sticks, dude. That's what they're doing at this point.
Because there is no actual proof because none of it is happening.
Shit, dude.
I've seen the videos of the people yelling at the camera crews saying that they're fake camera crews that aren't actually, they don't have any equipment. They're actually stealing ballots and putting them into like their vans and trucks. So I saw a video of a guy go in there and he's like, so what do you guys have in here? And then they open it up and they just show all their camera equipment.
It's like our fucking equipment.
And like you see all the people yelling out at the fence, like, they're stealing them. Look what's in the box. I saw ballots in there. And it's just fucking.
Well, even that one video that I'm sure you saw where the guy was doing the ballot thing and you could see him. It's like, a little bit further away view. And he kind of crumbles up the paper. It looks like he might have flipped it off and then throws it. And they're like, oh, he's throwing fucking ballots away.
No, he wasn't.
This. And
they launched an investigation.
I saw that too.
And they found that he threw away a fucking manual.
For the instructions for the machine.
They confirmed
right.
He didn't even have access to any ballots at that time. It's so fucking absurd.
They're reaching for, like I said, they're throwing shit and hoping it sticks. The
Sharpie thing. Did you see the Sharpie gate?
I remember you had mentioned it. I didn't.
So there's this claim that what's it called? That
they're
basically
all sniffing Sharpies.
they were giving
There's fucking.
Our president's been doing it for like the past 4 years. They basically have been claiming that not claiming this was true. They were giving Sharpies to people to fill out their ballots with. And a lot of the right-leaning people were concerned about this because they were claiming that the Sharpies were bleeding through and that they were using different sheets of paper. So they launched an investigation. Okay. First of all, it's completely legal to use a Sharpie on your ballot. In fact, it's actually preferred to do instead of using a regular pen. Why? Because they dry faster. So you can process the ballots faster when you use a Sharpie. Do they bleed through? No, they're not. They were claiming they were using different types of ballot paper that weren't the traditional kind so that it would purposefully bleed through. They launched an investigation.
That wasn't true.
Not true at all. There was absolutely no evidence of it.
The funny thing about this whole situation is everything that they're throwing out there and, claiming it had happened, they're coming right back with evidence, like actual evidence that this is not the fucking case.
Dude, tell me
about it. And then they keep
it.
going on and on and on about it. And it's like, so once they prove that's wrong, okay, next thing. This is what's happening then.
They even had this.
Get the fuck over it, dude. You lost.
There's even another one of, I think this was the last one that I've heard of, which was people committing voter fraud by dead people voting.
Oh yeah.
So basically somebody tested it by they went and they filled out like multiple ballots under like the same person, like a living person. She filled out ballots for Trump, like multiple ones.
Right.
And
it only counts one.
And it only counts one. Doesn't matter how many times you submit a fucking ballot. Right. You could go there 1,000 times. They're only going to count it once.
And if you're dead.
And they haven't found any evidence of any dead people getting their ballots put through that have been counted or not counted.
Right.
So what the fuck are you talking about? They've checked everything. All of the lawsuits have been thrown out because there's absolutely no evidence.
There's nothing there.
They found nothing.
Nothing at all, dude.
And
It's so
there was
fucking funny
there was
to me.
a voting error in the early polling that was going on during when the election was happening. There were it was showing that there was this huge uptick with Biden in this one state. It turned out that it was an error on the voter organization itself in that county.
Right.
They made their own personal error. They caught the error and they corrected it, and then they addressed it to the media. They put out a public statement on Twitter and said, we found an error. We accidentally added a 0 onto the number of votes that we had. So it made it look like Biden had a fucking huge leap out of nowhere.
Right. It was just
But they
someone
corrected
fudged the
it.
number.
They fixed it. A fucking an online like publication that is known for like stretching facts and completely fabricating stories ran with it, claiming that they did it on purpose, even though they made a public statement. The fucking the voter like county like whatever representative made a public statement on Twitter explaining that it was their own fault and they corrected it. They said that they did it on purpose. Biden is like they're buying the votes and stuff like that.
Fucking course
Someone on Twitter fucking shared it. Then it got shared all over Facebook, and then people were running with that narrative. But then it came out, oh wait, this is wrong. So then they started pulling retractions and stuff like that, except for the ones that really don't give a shit whether they're true or false or not. And yeah, they all just look fucking stupid now because nothing that they think is what's going on is actually happening.
Did you see the other thing that was going around after the election? A lot of Trump supporters.
His nudes.
Yeah, dude, oh my God, I would never want to see that. Oh,
I totally
my God.
would. Stormy Daniels said he had like a tiny fucking cock.
I could imagine so.
Well, he's also like
got a
super obese, so it's not like even if he lost a bunch of weight, it's probably not like great to look at.
Looks like your thumb.
But like it must be like horrendous.
It's probably orange.
Like
and
just
freckled.
to have his kids, he must have like I don't know. They stuck like a vacuum tube to his dick, just suction it out.
Yep.
Just like it's got to be like a concave, like little turtle head. Like there's so much of the fupa fat surrounding it that it's like, you know, the
he
thing
pops
when,
out. 3 more weeks of spring.
Like you go like this, and you just like you have it in the middle, and you press down on the fupa, and you just go. It pops out like a little button.
He goes like this. When this breathes in, it pops it out.
It's like he's like a cartoon character. Like
he
truly
really looks like a cartoon.
Everything he does is like the way he looks, the way he acts, the way he dances, the way he talks. Like the only thing we need to see is the way he fucks.
I don't want to see that, dude.
I totally do.
For research reasons only.
What if we saw that, but like we got like the biggest dick like Mexican porn star to like fuck him, like
that's very specific. I don't know. The biggest Mexican. To fuck him?
Yeah.
Oh,
like he's got hilarious. Like a fucking 12-inch rod on him, and he just like.
And he's like he's like a big one though. He's like a big old Mexican.
Yeah, he's just like and as he's like he bends him over, he's like
he bends him over the border. Say, here's your fucking wall. Here's your fucking wall.
And he's just like, how big are we talking? And he goes 12 inches. And he's like, I want to recount. And then you look over at like all the Supreme Court, and they're like,
no.
And you just gotta like, he's just getting fucking hammered.
Oh, dude. No.
That's like the ultimate retribution right there.
Yeah, I mean, you want to make America great again.
And then you see Colin Kaepernick walk into frame, and the fucking anthem starts playing, and he takes a knee.
Yep.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Like all the Trump supporters fucking lose their mind.
While fuck Donald Trump is playing in the background with the YG, Nipsey, and
Melania's just like fucking like going hardcore, like she's double fist blowing Putin, just like fucking going in. She's like really lit.
But she's speaking her native tongue while she does it.
Yeah. It's Putin and fucking Steven Seagal, and she's like fucking going in.
Dude, that's another guy I never want to see naked.
Imagine all the women that have had the unfortunate, like
I don't want to.
Just the misfortune of having to pleasure these men.
There should be a movement for those people.
Yeah.
There should definitely be a movement.
Yeah.
No, what I was
battered women's shelter.
Yeah. What I was gonna say was, I can't remember for the life of me what the name of it is, but there is a new. Essentially, it's like a Facebook and it's
like a different Facebook.
yeah, I guess, but it's more for like the right
Oh, fuck.
wing people.
Oh my
It starts
god, I
with a
know what
P.
you're talking about.
What is
Yes,
it?
I've heard about this. Then they're posting a bunch of stuff
Dude,
like about
so
everything.
fucking ridiculous. Yes.
Yeah.
One of my friends, he's a good friend of mine. He is a Trump supporter as well. Love him to death, but you know, no one's perfect. He sent me the link to it. He's like, you need to get on
like,
this.
check this out.
Yeah, so I look
You're
it
gonna
up
see
to
some truth. Open your eyes.
So I looked, like I Googled it. I was like, what the fuck is this? And the first thing that pops up, it says it's basically like a social media for hard right wings.
It's a video of Biden blinking and then another set of like eyes blinking. Under.
He's a lizard person.
Remember all of those lizard videos from back in the day? Like,
dude.
Obama's a lizard man.
He's not a lizard, dude. He's a demon.
Dude, where are those guys
sulfur.
now, dude?
They I don't know.
Everybody
honestly.
was saying that Hillary was going to prison, like all the Pizzagate stuff.
Yeah, that shit was fucking
now
crazy.
the other side's talking about how Trump's going to prison. Like just all this stupid shit that I don't
honestly, I feel
care.
like Trump would have more of a chance to go to prison than Hillary.
Yeah,
but it's not going to happen.
There's nothing confirmed that Hillary did anything. Whether she did or didn't, we just don't have any evidence that she has.
But with the whole Trump thing, there's like with her, there was obviously some shadiness, some things going on, but it was more just like one little thing. No, I mean, I don't know. It probably
There's
was a
just
lot
not
more.
really any concrete proof of anything.
Right.
If you can come with that, then like I would say sure.
Dude,
there's speculation and I'm sure she
do?
was involved
Reality
in different
show
kinds of stuff.
with Trump and Hillary Clinton
Real
in
world.
prison and their cellmates, right? How fucking dope would that be?
It's like The Odd Couple. Remember that fucking thing from like the 70s? Oh, it was like this.
I don't think so.
It was like this this show about these two like dudes. I know in the show they were straight, but I swear to God, like if you remade that show now, they'd be a fucking gay couple.
Oh yeah.
But it was like one guy was like a fucking dirty talking sports guy who like had mustard on his shirt and he left everything a mess. And the other guy was like an uptight fucking we can't leave the dishes in the sink, like and the whole shtick was basically like
they're polar
like how they had to like live with each other like that. You know,
good content.
Sitcoms from that time were literally like that. Like Three's Company was just a guy pretending to be gay,
so
living with these two chicks.
Try to get that threesome, baby.
It's such a weird fucking time.
Yeah.
Like that era of
what was
like
the name
television.
of that actor? He was in Bad Santa.
Who from Three's Company?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I forget.
I always forget his goddamn name.
Hurley? John Hurley?
Maybe. That does sound.
Let me look it up.
He was also in that one other fucking movie that was kind of funny. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, no, I just think, dude, this whole thing, it just kind of it should show you even more so what a lot of people were saying about.
I feel like such an asshole.
What is it?
John Ritter.
Oh, that's right. God damn it.
Got the first name right. Yeah.
Close enough. That's 50% there.
I remember when I was a kid, he was actually doing a sitcom that I watched.
Oh, really?
And he died in the middle of he died
in real
during
life.
the sitcom, and then they had to kill off his character.
Oh shit.
And then like all of the co-stars like had to like grieve like in the show.
But in real life.
And he also really died. So like
damn.
The episode started and they were like, "Hey, Dad went out to go pick stuff up at the store."
He went to go get some cigarettes.
So they had him die like something happened. I think he had a heart attack or something while he was picking stuff up. And it was so weird because he died like obviously off screen, so he didn't get to start the episode. But the whole storyline is that the character's in the middle of doing something right now, and then you just never see him.
Oh, that's
again.
fucking weird.
And then the show just went on for several seasons after that.
That's so
and
weird.
It was yeah.
Remember they tried to do that with she didn't die, but they killed her off anyways, Roseanne. And
oh yeah, then they did they've got like a spin-off show going, The Connors.
Yeah, and then they killed her.
See, like I watched Roseanne as a kid.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I watched.
I didn't watch it when they brought it back.
No, I didn't either.
I'm sure it was probably fine. I
heard it was actually was pretty good.
I saw clips and I saw this one thing and I was just like, oh, that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I thought about checking it out, but then after that thing happened where it was like all that controversy, I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not even against it or anything like that. I don't know. I see where they're coming from, why they fired her, but
No,
at the
no,
same time,
I do, but
I think that whole like I took Ambien and I can't. What am I tweeting? That thing only goes so far. You know, you have to.
you can only use it so many times.
And she was like, "I thought the bitch was white." She started making like those monkey comments to that fucking black lady, and you're
Dude,
just
it went
like,
all fucking crazy. That is
and
for
you
sure.
kind of like, okay. All right. I mean,
Are you on Ambien right now?
Yeah. How often are you on Ambien?
Yes.
She's like, I'll tell you right now, I'm actually Roseanne. like not even Roseanne, but like Roseanne.
Oh,
She's like,
shit.
I'm the character from the show. And we're like, oh fuck, this
bitch is gone.
we got to put her in an institution. What if we put her in a fucking insane asylum and she's still playing the character? Like she's like going like.
What if it gets even worse? It actually
she cast the whole family in there. It's like a guy who's eating his own arm.
Come here, daddy.
John, you're looking good. Lost some weight.
Fucking whole arm's gone. I have no idea where I was gonna go with that.
What were we talking about? Well,
we were talking about
the voter fraud and stuff like that.
Right.
All the claims that they're making that have been complete. Everything's been debunked. Every claim, every lawsuit, all of them. They've all been thrown out because they're baseless. They have no evidence. There's just really nothing you can say or do about it. And it did make me what's it called? Just go, God, this is so fucking so fucking annoying.
That's right. That's what I was gonna say was after all the shit that him and his whole campaigning people have been doing, you know, like you said, all the lawsuits, all this other bullshit, it kind of brings light and shows you what a majority of people that were not Trump supporters that didn't like him. It kind of proves the point of what his character, you know, who this person is. He's the type of person to, you know, basically he's throwing a fucking temper tantrum saying, no,
Yes.
I'm not accepting this. This is bullshit. It's like, dude, you fucking lost. It'd be one thing if it was kind of like the Al Gore and Bush election when it was very, you know, like thousands of votes, not the fucking
Biden won by a huge
percentages, dude. Like it was like, was it like 52 to like 46%?
And that's really because Trump lost the respect of a lot of the Republican Party.
Yep.
Like,
well, and then there's also a lot of
immediately after he got into office,
right? He
was losing them very quickly. You know, like even fucking South Park made that joke about how like they were like what the joke was. Like I can't remember because it was like fucking 4 years ago. But the essential idea of the joke was that even a lot of them like have recognized how fucking terrible this guy is, but they're so reluctant to admit to themselves that they were wrong. So they're just going to keep supporting this guy.
Well, I feel like, and that's what happens a lot of time with actual people, like, with the party thing, you know.
Well, you put yourself out there saying, I support this thing. You know, it's like when you bring a girl or a guy around your friends or family and you're talking them up like this, they're so great or something. And then they cheat on you. And then you don't want to have to explain to your friends or family like actually they're a terrible person, they're not funny shit. Like you tell everybody they're like they're so funny, all their stories are great, they listen to me, and then when you break up you have to go, she never listened to me, she was never funny, and they go whoa.
This
because
is the same
you're
girl?
you're in a cloud.
And
it's the same kind of thing. You're in an abusive relationship, folks. Let me tell you right now, you're in an abusive relationship.
Yes, get out.
Do you need me to call someone?
Please.
I'm here for you.
Who are you gonna call? Biden.
And this isn't. You know what else I found out about Biden is that he actually has a stutter, like a very like a severe stutter.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So, you know how we always make fun of him for like him like mixing up words and stuff like that. It's actually a technique that he does where, you know, why he pauses and stuff like that is because when he's about to stutter, the technique that they teach you is to like change the word into a different thing.
So you're not tripping on that word.
If for those of you who don't know, I watched like this thing about
that actually makes sense though.
And once you get into it, it can be hard to break out of it.
No, for sure.
That becomes hard to take someone seriously. There's a stigma around it, obviously. When someone starts to stutter, you think of them as like being slightly deficient or something when they're really not. but obviously like the reason why people try and correct their stuttering is because there is that stigma.
Right.
So he takes time and he'll pause and he'll try and change words. But what happens is you're in the middle of these fucking debates. You have to think so quickly on your feet.
You got like
you try and change the word, you pick the wrong word, and then you have to backtrack and try and correct yourself. And that's why he winds up. So I didn't know that. We've been making fun of. I found
I'm still
out
gonna
about
make
this.
fun of him.
Yeah. Oh no.
Now I'm gonna make fun of him even more.
We're gonna make fun of his stutter.
Yeah. Today, Junior. Could you imagine, like, at his first press conference? And Trump's just sitting in the front, just mocking his stutter. I can see him doing that.
He definitely would. He'd be like,
he's like, can't someone read his fucking script for him? This fucking retard.
But when I saw that, I was like,
but that does make more sense, though. Honestly,
it makes more sense. Like we've had this idea that he's deficient mentally, that he's having like this breakdown and stuff, that he's not going to be able to perform.
Right. He's never come off to me as not an intelligent person.
Yeah, of course not.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, I thought it was
always been like concerned about it.
Right.
Like,
especially with his age
I don't know
and stuff
what's
like
going
that.
on there. But now that I've learned that, I go, wow, this makes so much more fucking sense. Right. And this isn't me saying he's going to be great. We were all wrong about it or anything like that. This is just me saying, like,
Kanye should have won.
I felt like we definitely needed to, now that I've got this information, it gives me a different perspective on, like, okay, I'm not nearly as concerned as I was.
Right.
I'm really not. And I've already said that he is, by just looking at the straight facts, what's better for this country. Mm-hmm. Because if I believed that Trump was better for this country, I would have just said, yes, Trump is better for this country. Right. Because at the beginning of the whole election and stuff like that, I was in the camp of, the devil, we already had 4 years with this guy. Yeah. We might as well ride out another 4 years with this guy because we don't know who this untested. When Andrew Yang and Bernie were out, I was just like, there's nobody that I was just like, fuck it. We'll just stick with this. I wanted Yang. I wanted Yang.
Me too, 100%.
But if we can't do that, I just said, let's stick with the devil we know. There's going to be no more surprises because this guy's so outrageous, nothing surprising.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That it literally ends up being that decision. It's like,
it doesn't feel like a democracy.
No, definitely. It's just feels like, what do we gotta fucking do? Like,
but I what I find so funny about all these these right people who are claiming fraud and stuff like that. They're they launched a lawsuit to try and stop the ballots being counted. God. They tried to stop the ballots being counted.
No, he did too.
Yeah, it's his campaign. They launched a lawsuit to stop ballots.
What I got to say about that is, so he was so adamant that he obviously was the winner, right?
Yes.
And that he got fucked over.
Yeah.
Anyone that that knows that they won does not want the counts to stop. Mm-hmm. How does that make sense? Why would you want them to stop counting?
Well, my whole thing is, first of all, you have no legal footing to claim to have them stop counting the ballots. That's you continue on election day that's not necessarily the day that you find out who the president is.
No,
it takes many days to find out because they have to count every.
And especially this year with all the mail-in ballots.
There's been mail-in ballots for a long time.
Yeah, but this was the highest.
This was the biggest amount,
because of the situation.
It took so fucking long.
100%.
There was so many. We had fucking COVID and stuff like that. Even people going to the polls. What? Yeah, right.
You said a marathon?
But we knew that it was going to be a longer process than it might have ever been, And this, I think, was record high numbers of people voting too.
Yeah, no, it was.
We had
I think
a huge influx of.
I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm pretty sure they said that the amount of votes that Biden had received, total overall votes, was the most any president or any president
to be. Yeah, we had a huge.
It was a lot of people that didn't vote,
especially on the Democratic side.
They showed out.
Normally in America, we don't there is the stigma of the left doesn't really show up to vote when they're very vocal about what we need and stuff like
that's
that.
That's what happened with Bernie.
And the right. And as someone who was raised a liberal for pretty much my whole life.
Oh, you're one of those libtards.
Yeah, right. I definitely what's it called? Thought to myself, everybody always wants to complain about everything that's going on and how we can fix it and stuff like that. But let me tell you something, when you're surrounded by all these people, 9 times out of 10, they don't fucking do anything about it. When it's time to vote, most of them never fucking show up.
It's sad, but it's true.
So that's one of the biggest issues with if you're a Democrat in this country, you know what I'm talking about. It's fucking frustrating when all you want to listen to is when all you hear about are all the problems that could be fixed if we all banded together and went out there and voted.
Woo!
Democracy, we can make a change,
What
make
was
a difference.
Vote or Die?
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Vote or die, motherfucker.
So they launched this lawsuit to stop the counting of the ballots. The Trump campaign, the actual campaign,
Right.
launches a lawsuit. Obviously, it gets fucking thrown out.
Well, of course.
They have no right.
There's nothing.
There's no legal footing
nothing
there for them to make that fucking claim to do that. He in no way fucking won. It just didn't happen. But I think it's so fucking funny that these people would consider something so un-American as to stopping democracy in its
Right.
tracks. They want to halt which this is democracy. You get to pick and choose the people who lead your country. But hold on.
Like I said, dude, it shows you exactly the real characteristics of this fucking guy.
But here's the thing. When somebody wanted to take a knee during the national anthem just to silently and
Right.
peacefully protest police brutality, that was the most un-American thing to these people.
Right.
That was un-American. But
yeah.
they're actually halting democracy. They're trying to sue the actual fucking country and prevent democracy from taking place. And yet somebody peacefully protesting
And mind you this, a veteran is the one that told him
yes, a
do
veteran.
the knee thing.
A veteran was the one. He consulted with another player and who is a veteran, and he told him the best, most peaceful way to go about doing, the most respectful way to go about
Take a knee
protesting
and
would be to take
silently.
a knee.
Yep.
I thought that was hilarious. And for any supporters of Trump who are veterans or are currently enlisted in the military, I think that's hilarious too, because that guy has been so belittling to different like members of the military. Like his remarks about John McCain,
Dude, that was
and other military members.
What do you say?
Ridiculous.
What do you say? He doesn't like his.
No, he said he's not a hero, and they asked why, and he goes, "Well, heroes don't get captured."
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I don't like my.
He was a POW. He was a fucking prisoner of war.
He was a fucking.
You're gonna call that guy not a goddamn hero?
Dude, that guy went through so much more shit in one fucking week than he's ever dealt with in his life.
Me?
You know what I mean? That's some fucked up shit to say.
It's fucking despicable. But you guys are gonna support him, and that's fine. I don't have any problems with that. But just acknowledge that that was not the right choice. Just okay, if it holds true to your ideals, that's fine. But if it's what's best for the entire country, it's just not the right choice.
So let me ask you this. So I have seen some videos and just people talking about it online of Trump supporters now coming out. It's obviously not a big chunk of them, but some of them say, okay, Trump lost, we get it. Let's just move on from here. Let's just all be united now, kind of a thing. And then the people on the left, and are not all of them obviously, but some of them are like, no, fuck that. You were dicks for 4 fucking years. Racism, bigotry, this, and that. We're not just gonna brush it underneath the fucking table and let you just come. Like, what's your thought on that? Like, it's a difficult thing, right?
I go to the Aldo ring, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's the character from Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Aldo the Apache.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is Inglourious Bastards is a Quentin Tarantino film taking place during World War II, for anyone who doesn't know. And
goddamn Nazis.
And one of the main characters, basically the idea of it is that there's like a special group called the Bastards, essentially, which is made up of Jewish American soldiers. Fucking badass, dude. So badass, bro.
I bet you wish you were Bear.
Yeah, right? The bad Jew. They drop into Nazi Germany. They're like an insurgent team, and they're slowly like cutting through the fucking like Nazis. Like it's incredible. It's an incredible film.
It is.
It's historically inaccurate as fuck.
Yeah, it's its own little thing.
But it's fantastic.
Very entertaining.
It's so good. The storytelling is magnificent. Obviously, it's Quentin Tarantino.
Really
the acting is incredible, right? Brad Pitt plays this character called Aldo the Apache. He's like descendant from this Apache mountain man, blah, blah, blah. And he makes this claim. He's got this hilarious like mountain man accent. and he goes Nazi. That's how he
Nazi.
pronounces it. But he explains to his men before they go on the mission, each one of you owes me 100 Nazi scalps, and I want my Nazi scalps. And so he'll have them like scalping. They kill their men, and then they show the scenes of them literally like cutting
Scalping, the
fucking their
Nazis.
fucking
Nazis.
But they always leave one alive. They leave one alive,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll send him back because they relay the message
Right.
to everybody, which grows their infamy, which grows the fear of them, which grows this grows, and it's beautiful. But they always say to the guy, whoever they let go free, hey, we can't just let you go out of here without a scratch on you because your superiors are going to know that you said something to us.
Mm.
So he'll ask them, so what are you going to do with this Nazi uniform when you get home? And they always say the same thing. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to burn it. I'm going to throw it away. I'm never going to look, they're like, I'm going to fucking destroy it.
Right.
And he's like, yep, I thought you were going to say that. See, we don't like that. We like our Nazis where we can see them. I want to be able to look at you in a crowd and know you're a Nazi. So he's like, well, if you're going to take the uniform off, then we're going to have to give you something that lets us know you're a Nazi. So he takes a fucking, like a hunting knife.
A
fucking hunting knife. They hold him down, they grab him by the head, and they carve a swastika into his forehead.
Fucking forehead, dude.
So you know what? The whole thing of like, we're going to take our Trump flags down. We're going to, you know what? If you were proud of it then, be proud of it now. Here's the thing about that. There's nothing illegal about putting any of that shit up. You know what I mean? Like, if you were fucking putting up swastikas and stuff like that, there'd be they'd have to take that shit down.
Yeah.
Because it would be considered like a
It's
hateful
a hate crime,
symbol.
right? Yeah.
Of like,
I don't know if it's a hate crime, but it's hate something.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, but there's nothing like illegal about putting up Trump stuff. And here's my thing is like, I want to know who's who.
Right.
I'm not going to do anything, and I'm not going to treat you any differently. But I think if you're proud of that shit, then like just be proud of that shit.
Yeah.
If you found it okay to do then, and you have no different feelings about it now, then the only reason you're changing it is because you acknowledge yourself that there was something fucking wrong with it. Do you know how
amazing this episode is, dude? We went full circle because that basically was the same thing that we were saying about with the whole Spick thing. It's literally the same thing. You know what I mean? If you can't be, if you're saying it, for those 4 years he was here, you better be saying that shit after. If not, don't just shut the fuck up. It's that simple.
If you're gonna fucking want to put everything away and pretend like none of that ever happened, then that just tells me that for those 4 years, you knew you were playing it up. You knew you were really rubbing it in people's faces just for no reason, which is inherently fucked up. Like, come on. There was like you were just being antagonistic for no fucking reason. So that's a dickhead move. You know what I mean?
No, it is.
Don't fucking do that. Keep those fucking flags up.
Keep that same energy,
if you're
bro.
Proud of it, keep the
that
flags
same
up.
fucking
Keep
energy.
the stickers on your fucking car. I don't care. But don't pretend like it didn't happen.
You know, there's some jackass that got a tattoo of Trump 2020.
Oh yeah.
I want to see these. I want to see a compilation.
You know, he can still run again.
Well, I mean, next year or the next
election, he can run again.
Do you really think he's gonna be alive by then, though?
I think I'm honestly wondering whether this was such a humiliation. I don't know if he'd ever come back again to it.
I don't think he would,
because I think he's just going to try and move on to like some other type of tax fraud and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's going to get his show again.
People out for fraud. This guy,
this motherfucker.
Anyone anyone who thinks we're being too hard on him, go watch our older episodes because we have had serious discussions about like everything, and we've talked honestly about our thoughts on Trump, and we've never been anything but fair.
No, that's for sure. No, and a lot of the times,
as much as we may have joked about him or Biden or Hillary or anything, and when it came down to actual conversations about him, we've never been anything but fair,
right?
And honest, and only spoken about the actual facts that have been proven.
Right. No, the good thing is about any situation like you're talking about that with Trump or any like Biden, Hillary, any of that. We obviously have our opinions on it,
Mhm.
but we also aren't blind or unaware of the fact that
Yeah.
there are facts and actual things that
Everyone's
are true.
biased. We just
No, definitely, but we also
Mhm.
will give you both perspectives from it. It's not just going to be
Yes.
one point of view or our opinion on it. We'll give you
Regardless
the
of
whole
our
broad
bias, we
spectrum of
always
it.
our content is always meant to be truthful and honest.
Right, and-
we're upfront about our biases, but we also will prevent you with what is really going on. We'll also present to you
Right.
what's really going on, the truth, and then we'll explain to you our
Exactly.
thoughts on the actual truth.
And that's a main reason why. I mean, this doesn't even have anything to do with politics, really, but with the whole like Rogan thing or the Chris D'Elia thing, we don't like to just jump the gun on things and to start talking about it
Right,
until
yeah.
we know we have some actual
Yeah, of
facts
course.
to back it up. We don't want to just be giving you bullshit. So I mean,
We don't want to do what the Trump campaign is doing.
yeah, fucking fraud, bro.
But like you were saying about keep that same energy.
Yeah.
I want to say this right now about the left now. So I've seen all these posts. I've seen an ex-girlfriend of mine post this shit. I've seen all these people who are like, one her post specifically made me fucking laugh
I
so
think
hard.
you mentioned it.
I told you like a little bit about. I should have screenshot it because it cracked me up because she was just like, I'm no longer gonna stand for intolerant Trump supporters. I don't want to hear you explain to me how you're not a racist and you try and justify why you're supporting him, but only for this reason or that reason. When if you support him at all, you do agree with everything he said. That's like basically what you.
That was the most
if you
ignorant
support,
statement.
You agree with everything he says and does, everything. And
So
then it was
ignorant.
like, if a Trump supporter invites me into their home or to hang out with them, I will refuse. I will never like. So to me, that was saying, so someone was nice enough to want to hang out with you, invite you into their home.
And the first
And
thing you
maybe
ask them,
cook for you, give you food, like whatever,
Right.
and you're just like gonna
Who'd you
spit in
vote
their
for?
face like that.
Who the fuck did you
she
vote
was just
for?
like, she basically said like the most important thing about somebody is who they voted for. To me, that's probably the least important fucking thing.
I
about
wouldn't
you.
say not
that
the
tells
least,
me
but
almost
it's
nothing
not,
about your character.
Yeah, it's really not as important as that.
Like,
Not at all.
I don't know. You could have fucking voted for anybody, and it probably wouldn't tell me shit about you.
Right.
Like, there have been people that I'm genuinely surprised are on the left. After I get to know them, and also on the right.
Yeah.
Like I've met people and been like, oh, I can peg this guy, like political leanings.
Right.
Like not all the time, but sometimes it's completely fucking wrong.
Well, I mean, it's as cliche as it is. You really can't judge a book by by
You
the
really
cover kind
can't.
of a thing.
And there's no such thing as a
And
perfect politician.
And that's the thing too. That's all I was really going to bring. Literally about to bring
Nobody
up.
falls into like a perfect category
You
for
don't
anything.
have a politician that you 100%.
for everything.
Yeah, you can't. It's just not a human nature. You just can't agree with every single little thing.
Yeah, of course.
So
not.
what you do is you pick one or the other of which
That
one
falls
leans more
closest
into
to
what
what
you
you-
believe
yeah,
in. Yeah,
exactly.
Which I think honestly needs to
It's
be
the most reasonable thing to do.
It is, but I think what they need to do honestly to get rid of this whole bullshit is get rid of the party stuff. And so you're voting
Right,
for
yeah.
the person and
Well,
their
because
policies.
we
and
act
not the
like we're a
party.
multi-party fucking
We're not,
country.
yeah, but we've got
We
realistically
are
there's two.
technically. Well,
Technically,
realistically,
no.
we're
It's-
just a two-party
It
system.
really
It's
is.
bullshit.
It is.
It always comes down to Republicans and Democrats, and nobody looks at any of the third-party stuff.
No,
It's
I mean,
it's a
obviously,
bullshit
it's
system. It's one of
increased
the
through
many
years,
things that
but
needs
not
to be
much.
changed here in America.
Well, that's why I look at Andrew Yang when he ran this year. He literally leans liberal. He leans left on everything, but he had to run as Democrat because he's not going to get half of the votes or half the backing that he would if he would have ran the other way. You almost have to like lean into these parties, even though you're not 100%. It's like basically like in our situation when we're going for these parties or these politicians, we lean towards the one that obviously, like you said, not
Yeah,
benefits,
that's the thing
but
is,
has more
I
to
would,
you.
I would say
to your
I
fitting.
lean more liberal. I really
Me
do.
too.
I have some leanings towards different things than
But
others.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
More
I can't
ideal-
identify as
some
one
different
or the
things.
other.
Right, exactly. I fall more in the middle, but I do lean one way more.
And I feel most people do, honestly.
Yeah, most reasonable people, I would say. So I
Not
I
these
have
Trump tards.
some ideals that lean a little conservative. You know what I mean?
No,
My
for
thoughts
sure.
on like military and like border,
Spicks. Just say it. Just say it.
but honestly, what's it called? I forgot what I was saying.
You were saying how small your penis was.
That's true. So essentially, I guess the idea being that there's just no perfect politician for anybody. You have to
No.
pick the one that leans the closest to whatever you believe in. That might be one thing. But Nexi, my fiance, has a friend who voted for Trump.
That's what he told me.
She is fucking very liberal. But she voted for him.
Such a dumb reason,
And
though.
this is what a lot of religious people are doing. They're voting for him, although they
'Cause he
disagree
is
with
God.
everything. And they have absolutely no idea what his policies are on anything. They're only voting for him because of his stance on abortion.
Which is a
And it's-
ridiculous reason
If
to
you
be.
think someone is qualified to run our country just because they agree or disagree on something in the grand scheme of things as insignificant,
Right.
I don't care how fucking important it is to you, but we're basing who runs our country off of this
that, yeah,
one
no.
thing.
It shouldn't be that. If we're gonna base it off of one thing, there's many.
There's so many other things that
many
I'd rather
things.
put at the top of the fucking list.
Maybe like decision making under like nuclear stress and stuff.
So
like
what if that's fucking good? But if the
Yeah.
rest of the country is run like shit,
It
are you
doesn't
really
matter.
gonna fucking stand there and say, "Yeah, we made the right choice"?
Well, and then the thing is with him too. I mean, we've joked about it, you and I.
Yeah,
that we know
that guy's
God.
paid for more abortions than anybody. Are you
Right.
kidding me?
He just happens to say that because the party that he's involved in.
Yeah, he doesn't care about
Yeah,
that shit.
No, not at all. Come on.
That's fucking retarded.
Let's be real. Let's be honest.
No, but what I wanted to say about the like people on the left who are saying that shit, like they don't even want any type of association with Trump supporters in any way. Keep that same energy. Keep that
Right.
same motherfucking energy. like if that's the first question, she was like, the first question you need to be asking people is who they voted for.
That's so
the
fucking
most important
retarded.
thing to introduce yourself to a person.
Hi, my name is Julian.
When
I
your
voted
ass
Kanye.
gets hit by a car and the EMT is wheeling your stupid self into the
Red or
fucking
blue?
thing. Yeah. And you're gasping for air as you're coughing up blood into their fucking face. And you ask them who they voted for and they say Trump,
I'm just gonna
you
drop
better
it.
fucking you better tell them to pull the fuck over and drop your ass on the curb. You're gonna wait till a fucking a Biden EMT shows up. Like that's the type of shit I want to see.
Right,
when you
right.
go into a job interview
You better be ride or
and
die,
you
baby.
ask the fucking person interviewing you who they fucking voted for, and then you're like, you know what? I don't want this job.
Fuck yo job.
Like, yeah, this is the stupid
Keep
bullshit.
that energy.
Keep the fucking energy, bro. I want you to
do it.
keep that shit up. I want to see more posts on Facebook of like, you guys are gonna be so proud of me. This little girl came into my store today, wanted to buy a lollipop, and she told me her mom was a Trump supporter, so I spit in her face.
And then I punched her in the
And
uterus.
she's like, "You good kids have lollipops." She takes it away. Like,
Lollipop.
listen, I don't care where you lean or anything like that, but I think if we're just gonna just start acting stupid, I'm just gonna say it like that, right or left.
Let's just do it.
I think we've discussed
call a spade.
enough. I think we've mostly talked about like the right because of all the stuff that the Trump campaign is trying to do right
Right.
now in this episode, at least. Like we've lampooned them pretty hard.
But I mean,
it's because
both parties do it.
I mean, they're really just trying to break the law.
And I mean, at this
They're
point,
trying to
it's
stop
ridiculous.
votes being counted. It's completely
it's
un-American.
un-American. It's un-American.
undemocratic. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And any of you that call yourselves patriots or Americans or whatever, I mean, yeah, you're fucking despicable.
Bitch.
You're really despicable. And it really, I think a lot of what happened during Trump's
Presidency.
during his presidency
Right.
woke a lot of his supporters up, and that's why he lost this. And I think his loss here has probably woken up even more.
I would
to
agree
show
on that 100%.
Fucking sad and how pathetic of a loser you can be instead of losing with dignity and
Yep.
respect and grace.
I'm going to say one more thing that's I think is fucking hilarious. When Hillary had lost, he had put out a tweet, of course,
Oh,
basically,
yeah.
saying,
I retweeted it.
lose what's fucking like dignity. That's not what he said, but
He was
basically,
just like face the facts.
Yeah.
You lost and like lose with dignity.
exactly. It's
It
like
was something along those
like,
lines.
dude,
And then
come on.
I fucking retweeted that because a bunch
I
of
think
people were
Segura
like,
tweeted
yeah,
it.
yeah. A bunch of people were like, "Yep, I wonder who else should do that." Yeah, no, it was
funny.
seriously, it was fucking ridiculous, dude. But yeah, are we just about done on
We're
this
done.
episode?
Yeah, we're good to
All
go.
right, guys. So appreciate you sitting here with us on this episode. I hope you like it. Oh, we didn't get to address the fact that we lost a subscriber on our YouTube channel. I remember I think you texted me or something. You're like, hey, by the way, we lost a subscriber. So guys, go out and grab your girlfriend's phones and just subscribe to us on her YouTube.
And then hit her with the said phone.
But yeah, so that's basically all the everything that's been going on in the past like week or so.
And for the most part, yeah, bunched into 1 hour of fucking random fun.
I think this was
it was an entertaining one.
We basically got to most of it. I think everything we wanted to talk about.
I think so, to be honest with you.
We had a broad idea of just coming in and talking about the election stuff, and we knew it was going to be pretty heavy onto all of that.
Yeah, I mean, like you were saying though, it's definitely something that needs to be talked about. It's affecting everyone, obviously. It's relative, it's relevant right now, obviously. And there's just so much different things coming at it, different stories and stuff. So there's just a lot of coverage to be talked about.
But all right, guys, we appreciate you being here for the newest episode of the Cleaning Out My Closet podcast. Make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel, the Cleaning Out My Closet podcast. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, the Cleaning Out My Closet Facebook page, or you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Real Clean Closet. So that's it. And kiss your dad for us.